So let's start. Very good. All right, so as we start today, Wednesday, what I was intending to do is one of the things on my list to cover this morning in our pre-session is I was going to look for, with yesterday's sell-off and the way the market's been acting, look for stocks that generated a daily buy signal, PPS buy signal, that stocks are near monthly support. And then we want to filter that down and look for any of those stocks that are in a seasonally strong period of time. So that would be with one of our events that we have intended for our agenda today, which I think is a pretty important scan, so to speak. It's something to look forward to. So I do have that list, and I've gone a step further. If you look in your announcements section, you'll see our daily positive thought. Success comes before work, but only, and I forgot the book, but only in a dictionary. So we have to work for things, and that's part of what we do for planning and scanning is to, things just don't fall out of the sky and fall in our lap. We don't just get lucky. Sometimes we do, but for the most part, it comes from working. And instead of working hard, we like to work smart. And working smart means we just use the computers at the best ability that we have and identify technical indicators or other indicators that give us a better reading on the condition of the market, and that's why we look at, or why I look at the advanced decline when it comes to the stock indices as well as volume indicators. So today we've got a lot of stuff that's already out, and we've got a lot more things to come for announcements during the day. We have a Treasury refunding announcement. We also have the 3-10 30-year note bond and auction announcement coming out at 9 a.m. We have a couple Fed speakers out, and then at 10 a.m. we have the ISM, the Institute of Supply Management Non-Manufacturing Index out. That's the non-manufacturing index at 10 a.m. The petroleum report, as usual, on Wednesdays, 10:30 a.m., and then Charles Plosser and Dennis Lockhart both speak today. We've seen numerous earnings from Merck, Cognizant Technologies, Elizabeth Arden, EL is the other makeup people, Estee Lauder, right? Baidu, ADP. After the close, we got Akamai Technologies. We have Richard Ellis, CBG, and we also, which is interesting because that is the real estate investment trust company, as well as Kimco, Marathon Oil, O'Reilly. We have Pandora. Twitter is probably the one that everyone's going to be looking at, Disney, and of course Yelp. So we have a mixed bag today. So some of the stocks that we have that generated a PPS buy signal, we're going to go through those names. Verizon, you know that one. Also, here's interesting concept. I also threw in what generated yesterday a daily sell signal at monthly or near monthly resistance, and we had three names. Microsoft is one that popped up. So let's take a look at the market real quick and look at the conditions in which we are at. So we haven't gone anywhere. It looks like straight down, choppy sideways, straight down, sideways. I'm going to be quite frank with you. We had a 1808 level I wanted to see the market get above, but that was down when we were at this zone here. If we get back above that 1808 area, then I would be bullish. At now, we have a new conditional change in the market, and for me, we're going to need to see the market close above the new level. So as the market's declined, we just need to see a market that gets back above this last conditional change candle right here, which was Monday's downside action, and the high is, of course, 1783 3/4. And we want to see the market get above that high. So I'm going to call it 1785 just for, as you can just see on the charts. And I'm going to leave that there. For me to get ultimately bullish, that would get a close above that last conditional change candle. It would also give us a move above both of those moving averages. And so 1785, a daily close over that, then we could probably, we hold here, then we look at the long side of the market. So every day I've been talking about that, we could probably see, based on the weekly analysis, a 2 to 3 week correction. And so we're now in the midst of the third week, or if you want to look at it that way from a weekly time frame. The advanced decline, as we've made lower lows, we did bounce and we've made a double bottom, so to speak, but we have no follow through. We don't know if this market's going to roll and cave one more time today. Volume action was fairly light yesterday on the action, the small range that we had, and it was a fairly tight range. It's the looking at the other indices, if there is one that may be leading the other, I want to just bring them up to your attention real quick. The same scenario here occurred with the NASDAQ 100. We didn't break out of these lows, but price made lower lows. So this, again, we're going to have to get above Monday's high. So just call it Monday's high on most of the markets here. But we are kind of attacking, and trying to dig into this prior low right here and see if the market can support against these highs right in there. So that's what the market's supporting, as well as it's supporting against a weekly pivot target. So we didn't have a lot further destruction, but we don't have any really great news in the market. We are right at that yellow zone on the Russell that we've had on our charts. So this is the target area support. We did break the advanced decline just by a bit, but we're right back at that level. So I have no new clues. Again, it's going to be a close again with even the Russell Monday's high to get ultimately bullish, or until we get something else that creates a buy signal from a lower level. Okay, so for right now, if all things remain equal, we're going to need, for me to get bullish again, a close back above Monday's high. This is the NYSE. Now this is perplexing here, because if you take a look at the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index, this is actually building into a very strong bullish convergence on every imaginable aspect, both from a volume perspective. If you take a look here, this sell-off, we are significantly lower than this last low. We are significantly lower than this close right there. And if you look here together with me, that day's close, we formed that level, that low in the advanced decline on the NYSE, and it made that type of volume move. Now we are significantly lower, yet we find ourselves substantially higher in the advanced decline, as well as the volume on the NYSE. So for me, this does give us a ray of hope. At least if you're a bull, that's your ray of hope. If you're a trader, you just want to be cautious, because this market would be susceptible for pullbacks or sharp rallies, unless we get more evidence that suggests that this market is like a major bear and it's reversed till the end of time. Let me make myself perfectly clear. If you're a trader, you really don't care which way the market goes. You just want to be on the right side and have good indicators that say, hey, I should be long today. Hey, I should be short today. Or, hey, I got a breakout. I want to go with it. If you're a trader, you don't care whether the market goes up or down. But if you're a directional trader, you want to take a look at some of these indicators. And for stock market analysis, this is a very perplexing situation, especially for those who want and believe the economy's healing and are looking forward to continued growth in the market. This gives you a ray of hope. That's what I meant by that. That's what I'm substantiating that statement by, for those that want to and look for buying opportunities. For a bear, someone who thinks that the end of the world's coming, I would want to see further downside with the advanced decline, and I would like to see the price levels break. I would give this to the rest of the week. You need at least, to at least tomorrow's close to see if you get follow-through weakness. Then if we take a look at the Dow, I mean, the Dow's been acting bearish, more bearish than most of the markets. We have a substantial, we've taken out this prior low in here. As you can see, we took out that prior low, and more importantly, from the advanced decline ratings, we're just about right at the same levels, and there's only 30 stocks, so we did see a nice substantial lower move with an accumulation of volume on that downside. So the Dow is still as we would look at this from a comparative analysis, with prices are at that low right there, and here we had this low right there, well, we are matching that with the indicators. We have lower volume, and we do have, just barely, but we do have lower advanced decline readings. So the Dow, from a perspective of the market analysis, is still the weakest link of the chain. We have a monthly support down here at 14,951, and that's very conceivable to get down there. And would it be? Could it be close? Could it be 15,048? Could it come within 100 points? Could it happen overnight? Yes, a lot of things can happen. But based on the NYSE, the overall New York Stock Exchange Composite Index, it makes a tough argument to be saying, all right, this thing is ultimately still bearish in the market. I think we still have to be cautious, and I think you're going to probably see some more two-sided trading in the volatility that we have seen over the last couple of days, which is what we like in the markets. So with that said, looking at the weekly, the longer term, we broke our advanced decline moving average. We were looking for, when we said that this gave us a sell signal, we could see at least a 2-3 week decline, but I'm not looking for a severe decline because we didn't get a major breakdown with the advanced decline. And as you can see, even here on a weekly basis, we haven't gotten that. Now, this is not the end of the week, so these numbers will change. But as it is right now, the market internals do not suggest that, this is the jump out of the window, get Katie bar the door, everyone gets short this market. So I wanted to just go quickly through the advanced declines before we, to say, okay, here's what the readings are about. So let's go through and look at some of these stocks real quick. All right, so the scan that I ran, boy, that sounds pretty, okay. So the scans that I ran came from TradeStation, by the way, and this is where I have my, the one feature that I have a scan set up to run daily buy signals, which generated a buy signal. As you can see, it is near daily support. The only problem I have with Broadcom, it is not in a seasonally strong period of time. In fact, if we take a look at the weekly chart here, we find out that really it's not until April that you start the move up. So semis, and if we take a look at AMD or Intel, let's take a look at Intel real quick. So Intel just hit its daily, as you can see, its monthly support yesterday. And this is a stock that typically peaks out from anywhere from middle of January, as I'm sharing with you down here at the chart, going into the middle of February. This is a rough period for Intel until about the first week of March. So the semi space, looking at the semiconductors and some of the bigger names, even though we are at monthly support here, there is no buy signal. I just wanted to see what like markets were doing in that space. So for me, I think you probably maybe chop around, but we don't want to even look at these stocks in that space until we get into March, the semis. So we're going to move on, and as you take a look with me here, all right, this is Goodyear Tire. Goodyear Tire, it actually is fighting and struggling. It's another one of these stocks that come into March. So I know that this is February 5th. We've got the unemployment report out. But I think the fact that we're starting to see signs of life of a lot of names coming in, we might not get a, here's another one that we've got that we want to pay attention to. And the only thing is that Merck had earnings this morning. and it's not doing a whole lot. I mean, Merck's up. It looks like it was 53. It's up a buck. It is up a buck, but as you can see, it hit monthly support, and this might not be a good candidate because notice in here, while we do have a little seasonal trend that runs up, it peaks out, it bottoms out, and then it runs up going into about the second week of February, and then it starts kind of like a slow grind lower. So maybe this might be one that we, even though it is in a seasonally strong period of time, it did give us a daily buy signal. Merck, you know, it might have maybe another 5% run to it from this level as it gets near that resistance zone up in here, which is 56.92. So Merck's not one of the more sexier markets that I'd be looking at, and that, you know, we might not get anything out of today's scan, but I think that's what work's all about, to try to look through. We will never find a good, decent buy setup if we don't look for it, and that's the key. So today I'm going to, you know, focus on a lot of these names. And here's another thing: the more every day that I find that stocks are near within a certain percentage, is one of my criteria that I created my own scans. If I find more and more stocks are trading near their monthly predicted pivots that are generating daily buy signals, I'll tell you what, that gives me a little bit more confidence that the overall stock market might not be going much lower. So this is Verizon, and you all know what its competitor is. It's AT&T, and it's a very similar chart. The issue here is that even though it also has a seasonal weakness, but it's coming into, or it's actually near, its monthly support. So the next one is, I'd like to see LMT real quick, Lockheed Martin. Of course, Lockheed Martin, which is in aerospace, it definitely hit the monthly support yesterday. It's in a weekly sell mode, and as you can see, it does have a seasonal upturn, but not until March. So again, these are names that, you know, maybe they've sold off, they're going to pause a little bit, but I just don't see anything so far that I want to jump my feet into. So IDGT, so this might be a bust. I thought it would be interesting to see here we go. Integrated device technology. And this has a strong seasonal tendency. As you can see, it had earnings yesterday, and of course the market had moved up. Now this is a $10 stock. This is a semiconductor. It has a little bit different makeup than Intel, but it has a little seasonal trend. It pulls back, and again, it's one of those stocks that we want to look for in March. So today's, I thought it would be a great little thing to come in here and say, hey, what do we got today as far as any buying opportunities in stocks, and see what the scans have. As it is, I don't really, one last one. Quanta Services, PWR, that's on the list. It's at monthly support, seasonally. That has a strong seasonal tendency to move up. I would take, what the heck is this thing? Construction. The daily on-balance volume looks pretty constructive. I mean, the market's dropped, as everyone can see this, right? The price has gone down, but not with any volume. I'm going to put this on a watch list, and I'm going to see if this thing gets back above a breakout of these highs right there. If you get a breakout above that high, that's 31.94. So PWR, let me type this in. All right, so I typed that in for everybody. PWR, we're going to set an alert. That's alert for a breakout above 31.94. I don't know what the, in this space, if you take a look at the space, you've got a lot of competitors. We all know what Chicago Bridge and Iron Corporation is. We look at Jacobs, JEC is another one that's in that space. So when we take a look at one stock, remember, this is a nice technique. Just what was a great feature that Genesis has, we can look at other names in that space. And as you can see, we do not have for Jacobs Engine, it's in a seasonally strong period of time that lasts into May, but we don't have a daily buy, and we are at monthly support. So I would like to look at stocks within this space, because if we get, maybe we can find something that's a little bit better as a quick trade in here. Any of the names that come up. Fluor Corporation, for example, notice where it's at. It's almost near its monthly support. So we might, this is kind of exciting when we see a lot of the same or competing stocks in the same sector are all kind of having the same formation. So if one bottoms, you want to see if the rest of those stocks bottom in that section. We'll be using the same technique as we move forward. And I think every day while we got this market here, under these conditions, it's probably vital to run a scan. And so with that said, let me look at how many stocks changed. Let's go up here real quick. Okay. Not a lot of changes there, but we got a bunch of them, and that's why we like to confirm and use two different cross analysis, and using TradeStation, the scanners that I've got there, as you can see. Just want to highlight this for you. As you can see, the list, daily buy at monthly resistance, and these were the daily sells, which gave us Microsoft. Let's take a look at Microsoft real quick. Yeah. So Microsoft, by early February, Microsoft, that's an interesting seasonal right there. Early February, Microsoft tends to go down for the whole month of February. So if Microsoft and earnings we've already had earnings, it's already passed. So perhaps this might be one that Microsoft, the news is out, they've got a new CEO, everything's out. If possibly this could be Microsoft, a candidate for a credit call spread, just as it just kind of buys time based on this window of seasonality of the market moving lower. I'm going to put that on my watch list too, MSFT. All right. Let me move on and go to our so today, nothing really stood out except for we've got the construction engineering sector. We want to take a look at some of those names. And guess what? It is in a seasonally strong period of time. We talked about, this is the time where construction starts to pick up, weather changes, et cetera, and I know that's tough to tell people in Chicago who are still shoveling snow. But nonetheless, I want to get in for the rest of the day looking at some of the other our markets, and looking at gold real quick, because we did get an overnight pop here, and we were talking about we need to get a move over this last conditional change, and guess what? We just briefly popped over it. We need to see a close over that 1270 area. You get a daily close over there, and that bearish outlook I got is going to completely change. Now, that just means temporary. It just still means that we could come back up and test. If we take out that level, that means we get right up here against 13 even. So gold, even though it popped up, we need to see that market close, and we still don't have a daily buy signal generated yet. So the game is still on for the fact that this market is still stuck in this kind of a range here. I mean, there's literally the range, right? So unless we, and what's happened is that the market is, if you can see this big tall green candle here, this green candle here has kept prices contained almost between its open, and you can see here that this red candle is really defined the market's value between its open and close. So the range between this red candle and that red candle, and that's what's, if we need to break out a close above that red candle's high to look for a continuation of the upside, or break down below this candle's low for a breakdown to the downside. So we're still in a range here for gold. Let me take a look at crude oil real quick. Kind of funny, it's still stuck in its range in here. We have a, and I'm going to go right here and take a look at this level. I'm going to get rid of this box here for you guys. And if you notice, and I'm going to lower this level right down into here. So we have a close at 97.32. The market opened at 97.37. The market closed at 97.41. The market closed at 97.36. The low was 33. The low was 97.10. The open right in here is almost the same range. We have 97.40. We have this 90s, I don't know what it is, at around that 97.30 area, but today we have the supply report out. This 97.30 area is the low about, if you think about it, it's today's low, 97.37. So 97, I don't know what the heck is the magic area here, but you can kind of pick that out on a chart yourself by just looking carefully. And every time we trade below that level, we move a little lower, we get above that level, we trade. So we're at that's a nice swing point. So I would suggest, and to me what it suggests is that if we get back underneath these moving averages today and underneath yesterday's close, we potentially can find ourselves trading back down. On the other side of the coin, if you take out 98.59, that swing high, the market's all it's done is stair stepping to the upside. Watch 97.40 for breakdowns. It's actually 97.30 in crude oil. Don't forget, today we have, of course, the energy information, or DOE report, Department of Energy. It's they've changed the name. All right, so S&Ps. What are our magic numbers here look like? 60-minute. This market's taking a look at a 60-minute chart. I think you get this, whatever the number is, $45. As you can see, this high, the market just kind of migrates around 45. Lows, it just migrates right around that area. You get out a breakout over this, I'm going to say 45 to 47, this tweezer top up in here. That zone there, then I mean it's I think that same thing I said yesterday. You know, it's going to try to want to test the upside of the market. Failures to the downside. Let's talk about failures to the downside. At what point do I say, hey, this thing's continuously, it's just another pause before the storm? So you look at these lows and you extend out the trend line. Forget this last bar here, this last hour bar. We're just getting a pop over that high right now. You get over this 46, 47, and I think you got your little swing move up to the next stop is 49. Same analysis as yesterday. I don't think the picture's changed, but I definitely want to say that this area right in here, 38.75, we get back beneath 38.75, we're going to want to look for short setups. So 38.75 is the number to the downside right there on the S&Ps. All right, so we've covered gold, crude, stocks, and we'll give it a whack again tomorrow with running our scans before we start to see what the health of the market really is if there's more names popping up on our list as buy signals. Sometimes, remember, you'll get the stocks that generate the buy signals before the index and vice versa. You'll get stocks that generate the sell signals before the indexes crash down. So that concludes our session for today. This is Wednesday, and it's the 5th.